Cards, there wasn't really anything in the game aside from 1 minute before half-time and perhaps 2 minutes after half-time. And unfortunately, it's not the first time it's happened this season.
No, you're right. You know, I just spoke about teams who win games in this division, the teams who stay in the game. And we've got a terrible habit of undoing that. Nothing in the first half felt comfortable. Felt we were a threat going certainly down the right with James. And it was just a case of, you know, I'm thinking to myself at half time, we tweak a little bit, tidy it up a little bit more care with a few passes in the final third. And then it's a poor pass from Matty. It's a loose pass, which ends up with Aaron making a tackle, which is obviously the refs give a foul and the lads put it past Liam. So we were positive at half time. We went in, we said, listen, we've been in a game, it's not a bad free kick, but it's needless from our point of view. But we do things right, and then we come out, like you say, 90 seconds later, you're 2 down, staring down it. Our corner, James Millardo has to do better on the spill out. But those lapses and moments of lacking concentration are killing us in a big way. You know, we changed things today in terms of obviously the setup. We wanted to be more solid. I felt we were that. I felt we had control at times. Wanting more, because there's good players in the middle of the park who we want to play with, want to play through. And that was the message to go out at half time. But like you've just said, you know, it's happened too many times this season to gift the second goal. Teams must be rubbing their hands together to watch us by saying, just stay in the game till half time, they'll give you the chance on the half. And it's you know, it's so demoralising, and it's not like you say someone's made an absolute howler. It's just a small mistake or a small lapse, or should get tighter in certain incidents, and it's just undoing us. It's just really undoing us. And then 1 or 2 opportunities we had in the first half, you know, they've made a couple of blocks. They made a couple of blocks in the second half, but we haven't really done enough. And you know, when we made the changes to bring some pace on, that was always the plan. I just felt we had too many who've their heads have gone, heads have dropped. We've got to shake that off. We've got to shake that mindset off. We've got to be, you know, we said stay in the game, and I just said it now about the teams who win games. They stay in the game, but if they concede, they don't stop. You know, they get themselves back. We just we say a little bit feeling sorry for ourselves too much at the moment.
In the 4 of the 7 games now, you've conceded 46 or 47. I mean, what do you put it down to? Is it what's happening at half time? What do you think it is?
Well, I don't know. I don't know is the honest answer. Like you say, we go over instruction, we go over set pieces if need be, which we did, because I felt we wasted 1 or 2 in the first half. We just give reminders of jobs, roles and responsibilities, and like you say, there's nothing that's glaringly obvious apart from that moment for the second goal where James has to go tight, or in other games someone's dropped off, or you know, it's just been one person maybe not being quite switched on in that moment, which has cost us. And that's, you know, like you say, it's happened too often already this season.
As you said, you certainly had more control of the game than maybe in previous away games. I mean, games we didn't create any chances either, but you really struggled to create any chances.
Listen, we should be looking at a 0-0 and taking a point on the way home, you know, and being on the way home. But you know, we said it just after the game. Teams aren't really, you know, apart from Hensford maybe second half, no one's ripping us apart. You look at the goals last week, you know, Bamber Bridge. No one's ripping us apart. They're all our doing. And it's a mindset thing, and it's a feeling sorry for ourselves thing, and we've got to snap out of it. This game's coming, obviously, big game Tuesday at home. We got to get right. Obviously we don't train in that time, but you know, there'll be reminders, there'll be messages, there'll be obviously conversations we have with the players. That always happens. So you know, we got to be positive. We've got to go again. We've got a chance to bounce back, to kickstart the season, and to obviously we've added a few players to the squad who, you know, need time. None of them are trained this week, so it's obviously we haven't had that chance to integrate them and to get them involved in what we're trying to do and how we try and play. So obviously that'll come in time.
How hard is it? You know, you're obviously looking for players and you're bringing players in. How hard is it to try and get them to gel? Because you know you're in the position now where you're needing the results and things like that. But at the same time, you've almost got a whole brand new squad of players that you've got to try and get working together.
Yeah, it is, and the squad of players we've brought in. I said it before. You know, in my mind, this summer was always going to be a big, tough job in terms of recruitment. You know, and it was always I spoke with Toby about it. It was always the mindset that, you know, we get into the first six weeks of the season and then add again, and then, you know, improve it again, because in the summer you don't really, you know, there's players hanging out and they'll get clubs higher up, and then you just waiting, you're monitoring situations, and some are on the bench and some aren't playing, and so we're at that stage now where lads want to get out and play, and that was always the mindset. But we've been having to do it from the first game, really, in terms of looking for centre half to replace Scott, looking for centre forwards to replace Cal, and you know, players that are big players who we've signed to be mainstays in our team, and to try and, you know, there was obviously Liam being missing for the first 3 games, so you sort of, you're up against that anyway, when you're looking at the spine of the team, you know. But you know, nevertheless, we've still got to patch it up and win games of football, which obviously we haven't done. But it does take time. It does take time to settle. It does take time for players to gel, and like you say, you know, you're rebuilding it in the first 5 weeks of the season. You're trying to build it because of what you've lost, and what's still not available to come back. That impacts this league. The likes of Evan, the likes of Josh, the likes of Elliot, and I know we've been without them a long time, but it still doesn't make it easier when you're looking at them and they're not available for you. So yeah, we just have to stay positive. We have to keep going. Fans have been with us all the way, so you know, they're probably pissed off with me, if I can say that. But we just have to keep going. We have to keep working. We have to keep trying to do the right things, because it will turn. The tide will turn. Because I think we've got good players in good positions. We've just got to get more out and less of the feeling sorry for ourselves if something goes against us.